IVM.
My neighbors have an 8-year-old daughter who attends a dance class after school and then also comes home and practices. Whenever I see her practice, I'm reminded of my own childhood. As we grow up, our passions are often left behind as we work towards securing the financial futures of those we love. In our show, A Sip of Finance, we often talk about these financial responsibilities. Now imagine if you could still work on your dreams while someone took care of your financial responsibilities. करो पूरे अपने इरादे, अपनों से किए सभी वादे. SBI Life अपने लिए, अपनों के लिए. Log on to www.sbilife.co.in for more details. IRRR registration number 111. Welcome to SBI Life Insurance presents A Sip of Finance by Priyanka Acharya. SBI Life Insurance, अपने लिए, अपनों के लिए. Okay, so we understood that inflation is not just a rise of prices. Inflation is actually lifestyle inflation. Today, we are going to talk about the second element from our IRRR series called risk. Window shopping is considered risk-free. Suppose the thing you had your eye on during window shopping was not of good quality, you don't have to worry at all since you never spent anything for it, right? Welcome to SBI Life Insurance presents A Sip of Finance podcast by Priyanka Acharya. I'm your host Shanali, and this is a lady special podcast that will help you get better with your finances. Conceptualized by Priyanka Acharya, a financial consultant who simplifies a lot of financial jargon for you. She comes with 14 plus years of experience in this field and has helped many grow their money. So, you can now learn simple finance not just in English but in 7 other languages. Let's get started. So, let's look at the second element of the IRRR series, risk. I'm not really an advocate of the jealousy emotion as such, but when I see the mannequin of that famous jewelry shop in my area, I do get jealous. Every week, the jeweler honors her with the latest trending necklace and earrings. And I really feel I wish I was that mannequin. Well, this thought must have come to each lady listening to this exclusive bite-sized podcast, A Sip of Finance. I'm on a simple mission to make your finance knowledge simple and sensible. And last week, we started the 5-episode series to understand IRRR. We understood that inflation is not just a rise in prices. Inflation is actually lifestyle inflation. And just like all of us have different lifestyle inflation parameters, our financial decisions will also somewhat vary from our neighbors, colleagues, and friends. Today, we are going to talk about the second element from our IRRR series called risk. Window shopping is considered risk-free. Suppose the thing you had your eye on during window shopping was not of good quality, you don't have to worry at all since you never spent anything for it, right? So let me tell you a little story. I love to wear saris, especially on occasions. Once when I was a college student, I saw a beautiful sari displayed at a store near my college. It had a big sale and the price was just hardly anything. I love to drape my mom's sari for school and college functions, but the sari that I saw was really tempting. Somehow I managed to go ahead and buy it. I was so convinced with its view from the roadside that I just went and grabbed it. I went home full of excitement, and as soon as I opened the sari to show it to my mom, there was a huge defect in its golden border. I was so disappointed with it. I walked up all annoyed the next morning to the shop. The owner nicely showed me their policy board, no replacement, no guarantee. Who was to be blamed? Was it the shop? Was it my impatient buying? Or was it the window shopping that aggravated my urge so much? Let us now understand our sip of finance today. This defective sari sale is very rare nowadays, but this experience happens in many other things. We have lots of financial decisions to make. If you are saving from household expenses, if you are saving from your salary, or if you are saving from your business income, ultimately all of us have this habit of window shopping in finances. When you listen to a finance themed webinar, or maybe when a friend visits a financial advisor, or someone comes in to teach us finance lessons, we start our window shopping. We also take those suggestions indirectly. All of us have experienced or heard stories from people we know about coming across defective products at some point or the other in life. And that's why we fear risk so much now. We feel we are much smarter now. We do not get fooled like that anymore. And when it comes to financing, if we come across window shopping of risky instruments where we are not aware of how much money will we really get, this smart running away from risk doesn't work in our favor. This one time when I held a financial awareness program for a group of women homemakers and self employed ladies, I felt really surprised because they said, "We are very comfortable with fixed deposits. No hassle at all. We just keep renewing it. And if we put the money anywhere else and there's a loss, our family will keep pestering us, reminding us all the time about our wrong decision." So, my simple question was, is your FD completely safe? And they said, yes, we've had this bank account for years, and the same bank has this FD. In fact, there was a lady who had retired 2 years earlier from the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, Mumbai, and she was happily flaunting that she has a big FD in her bank from her retirement proceeds. So I said, I don't want to discourage you. Please don't mind. But suppose the bank undergoes any issue and closes down operations temporarily or permanently, then you're not entitled to receive the full amount of your FD as per RBI guidelines. A FD is secured only up to the extent of 5 lakhs. I still remember her reaction. It was as if she visualized her bank branch being demolished like a typical movie scene. Let me explain further what risk actually is. For us, the simple rule is if we know how much we will get at the end of our investment duration, there is no risk. And if we don't, there is risk. This is just one side of the coin. Let us understand risk better. Money is not safe even in our own handbags. There is a risk of theft or there is a risk of forgetting that handbag in an auto rickshaw or something. We cannot escape risk. We just need to allocate money well. As our financial markets guru and icon Warren Buffett said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That is the most basic way of saying, just ensure you split them in different baskets and not keep them overcrowded. If I decide to cook a one-pot meal when I invite somebody for dinner, it can be risky. But when I'm going to serve someone a full meal, even if one of the dishes doesn't turn out well, I can still manage. Same way, it is necessary to split our amounts across all possible instruments. A simple hack can help here. If you remember, in one of the episodes I told you all about making a financial checklist where I explained the financial makeup. Now with your financial checklist, you will get to know at what stages and ages of your life you will need money. Whatever it is, investing or ensuring funds you have, utilize them as per the checklist milestones. Make a split of low, medium and high risk instruments and you're sorted. To do this confidently, you need to understand the purpose behind each instrument and not just a generic biased view. When I went window shopping, I just saw the sari, its color, texture, and beauty. But checking the risk was something I missed. In finances, the good news is there is no defective instrument. Normally, each company and product comes under some kind of a regulatory umbrella. There are certain processes to launch a company and a financial product, and there is a heavy amount of research that goes into designing financial products. We need not restrict ourselves to window shopping and not even keep worrying about the risk. We just have to allocate funds across various instruments so that our risk is spread out. This IRRR series continues in the next episode where I take you to the next R, our favorite R, because it is R for returns. Do share your feedback with us on Priyanka's Instagram at Priyanka Acharya. That's a wrap on this episode of SBI Life Insurance Presents a Sip of Finance podcast. We will see you in the coming week. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this podcast helpful, do give us a shout out on social media and tag us. It will help us empower more people. If you want to reach out to Priyanka, she is available on Instagram at Priyanka Acharya and on LinkedIn as Priyanka Acharya. You can listen to this podcast on the IVM Podcasts app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts. Do follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to SBI Life Insurance Presents a Sip of Finance by Priyanka Acharya. SBI Life Insurance, अपने लिए, अपनों के लिए.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
Hello. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On The Habit Coach, author Aparna Piramal Raje shares with Ashton 7 mental health therapies. The Simplified Gang discussed the Tata Group's recently released super app. On A Sip of Finance, Priyanka explains how inflation affects our households. On Tedhe Mede Raste's 100th episode, Keshav takes us to Amritsar's beautiful Golden Temple. Keshav, congrats for the 100 episodes. Wow, that's a whole 100 episodes. Check them all out. And on Smarter with Sid, Siddharth sheds light on why Netflix lost over 200,000 subscribers in the first quarter of 2022. Do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, do tell a friend. It really helps us out a lot. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on, and you can also check us out on YouTube. We are also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance, India Water Portal, and Jupiter, a digital banking app.